all this talk about non-existence is threatening to make the class itself non-existent. So let us start with Sahana Vavatu to ward off anything that happened. Okay, all right. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Non existence is a means of knowledge to cognize objects that have been misplaced. It's not that the objects are not there, they have been displaced, misplaced, or are extinct. If we are talking of dinosaurs, if you say dinosaurs are not there means what? They are not here now. So, etat desha kala, this is, vishishtah. So, conditioned by, the specific to this time, this space, and this place, something is not there. So, for that non existence as a pramana to work, what do we need? We need two things. We need to have, a first of all, we need to have something that is present all the time, because only a presence can cognize non-existence. Where shall we get that presence from? It's already there. You who is saying my glasses are nowhere to be found, correct? So you are very much there, and so the presence is there in order to cognize the absence. Only when there is a presence, the absence can be cognized. Then what else is there? Then you need to know what is it that you are looking for. You can't just simply look for what is that? You can't simply look for something without a name, without a form. You can't do that. You have to know what you're looking for. What is it that is not there? You have to know. Kim nasti. What is it that is not there? And then what else do you sing? Where is it not there? Kutra nasti. What is not there? Where it is not there? Where is it absent? And what is absent? And in addition to what is absent and where it is absent from, we need one more thing, the presence that is there, which cognizes the absence, which is you. So this is how non-existence works. So Brahman, okay, so it has a name and the person who is denying Brahman thinks it has a form, and that is not locally available. And so therefore what are they saying? This Brahman nasti, nasti Brahma. How can anybody say Brahman is not there? Because they don't know. Simple. Atma Ajnanam. And as Adi Shankara is going to point out in the Bhashya itself, what is he going to point out? He is going to say that we are prasiddham loke, he will say, that we are used to, what are we used to? We are used to objectifiable, graspable things. Things with name, things with form, things like this only we are used to. We are not used to something that is existent and yet is not objectifiable. That is not something people are used to. So therefore what? So therefore this here to deny Brahman is a denial of oneself, because Brahman is not an object. And the subject can never ever ever be denied, because the denial of the subject is what? Is is subject to self-denial. It's, in other words, you are denying yourself, and that is impossible to do. You can't go up to somebody and say, please let me know if I exist or not. They are going to say, you exist all right, but I have a question. Are you sane or not? That is my question. I don't doubt your existence. I doubt your sanity. This is what the thing is. And so, therefore, this is here a very important point, that this Brahman is, when you say this Brahman is non existent and Brahman being yourself, then the person becomes asat samaha eva bhavati, according to the Bhashya. And Bhashyakara is very careful. Even though the Upanishad says asat eva bhavati, it's not that the person is not there really. The person is there, very much there. The one who is in self-denial is very much there. Is very much busy denying themselves. And so therefore what? Asat Brahma, the one who says Asat Brahma. So that person doesn't become non-existent. The person is as good as non-existent. Asat Samaha. Equal to, as good as non-existence. Almost equal to non-existent. And then there is no Brahman, because the only Brahman that is there is in the form of Atma, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And so the person is saying Nasti Brahma. So that, the person is very much there. So therefore, Asat Samaha, Asat Samaha. And then what else does the person become? Apurushartha Sambandhi. In many Indian languages, Sambandhi means like in-laws. Not even in-laws. Like, if your son or daughter is married off to somebody, their parents become your Sambandhis. Kind of that's a name for that relation. So here, apurushartha sambandhi. That's not the idea here. So it's a simple negation. Na purushartha sambandhi. So what is this sambandhi? It's like, say, apurushartha sambandhi means what? Means sambandhi means here connection. There is no connection to the purushartha. Such a person who denies Brahman is as good as non-existence, because non-existent, because the person cannot be connected to any purushartha. Like even a Vandhya Putra, old example, ancient example. Before the days of surrogacy and artificial, what is that, fertility methods, all these things, before that, in vitro fertilization, all these things, before those came into beings, there was a Vandhya Putra, means the person who is unable, the woman who is unable to bear children, unable to have children, that is the one. And so, for this Vandhya Putra, we saw this example earlier also. Vandhya Putra, Esho Yati Vandhya Putra. And so Khapushpa Shekharaha, the one who has the one who has a celestial flower perched on his head, and then the one who Mrigatrishnambhasis Snataha, the one who bathed in mirage waters. We saw all that. And then so Esho Yati Bandhyaputraha Shashashringa Dhanurdharaha, holding a bow made of rabbit horns, the finest rabbit horns. Okay, so we saw that. So here, so for that Vandhyaputra, can you arrange a vivaha? No, you cannot. Why? Vivaha means marriage. Can you arrange a marriage? Can you do any kind of samskaras for this person? Absolutely not. Because why? The person is not existent to speak of. How can you do anything? And is the Vandhya Putra capable of following dharma? Let's say you send him to Sunday school. Okay, this is dharma, this is adharma, bala vihar. Okay, our version of Sunday school, or any Sunday school which we in any religion where dharma is taught. You send the fellow there, and is he going to learn? What is he going to learn? Because he is non-existent. So the non-existent person cannot be taught the first purushartha, which is dharma. And then Arthakama need not be taught, it comes on its own. But Arthakama also the person cannot have any connection with Arthakama. Artha is what Artha? How can the non-existent person have desires? I wish to do this, or I have these insecurities and I wish to fulfill them, etc. etc. I want to compensate for these insecurities. Impossible. Oh, have this desire to climb this mountain, I have a desire to study Vedanta, nothing. Then the finally what? Moksha. Moksha also as a Purushartha. In fact, moksha is the only Purushartha. That's the real Purushartha. Sarvaihi Purushaihi Arthyate iti. That is the real Purushartha. So then, Purushartha Sambandhi na bhavati. Apurushartha Sambandhi. That's what it is. Means, na Purushartha Sambandhi bhavati. The person is not going to get connected to Purushartha. So, maybe they'll have some Arthakama pursuits, really speaking. And maybe little bit of dharma also such a person can have. But definitely not moksha, because the basic qualification for moksha is to say Brahma asti. Because if Brahman is the subject matter of moksha, then if you say Brahman does not exist, what are you going to study? How are you going to learn? And so here, then see, even though everybody wants moksha, they just don't know it. That's all. They see it as it gets morphed into Arthakama pursuits because of the lack of understanding. They may not see it as moksha, they may see it as sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti, removal of sorrow, gain of sukha, happiness. All this they will see. And so everybody wants to get rid of sorrow, everybody wants to collect and shore up happiness. That is where the ichha is. But mokshe na ichha, because there is no understanding of what moksha is. And so therefore the person who is doubting the existence of Brahman becomes disconnected from the Purushartha called moksha. And so then, then what? Then, so this is exactly what it is. So evam saha apurushartha sambandhi yatha asan apurushartha sambandhi. Asan Purushaha. So so this Asat Purushaha, the person who is non-existent, who is unconnected to anything, any goal in life, is not also connected to moksha. And Adi Shankara asks a question: Ko asau? Who is that person? Yaha asad vidyamanam brahma iti. So asat means avidyamanam brahma. The one who says avidyamanam brahma. Brahman is not there. You see here, the mantra is not talking about Anandamaya at all. Mantra is talking about the Pucham. We are catching hold of the tail of the bird, of the Anandamaya bird. Why? The tail of the Anandamaya bird is the Angi, is Brahman itself. And so here, this Pucham is the Pratishtha, and that's what we are talking about. So, Avidyamanam Brahma iti, the one who says Brahman is non-existent, also becomes as good as non-existent in this Upanishad and in the Kathopanishad, talking about Shreyas and Preyas. And there it is put a little differently. The one who does not, what is that, follow Shreyas, moksha. Then what happens to the person? Hiyate arthat yau shreyo vrinite. Hiyate, slips away. Arthat, from the moksha purushartha. Artha means here moksha. Slips away, falls off, the wagon gets derailed from the moksha purushartha. The person gets totally derailed. The one who chooses prayas. The one who chooses prayas means the one who chooses only time bound existence and time bound objects. Why? Because that's the only thing they know. And they don't know any Brahman, and they perhaps don't even believe that there is Brahman, and they don't understand. The understanding is far away. They don't even accept that there is Brahman. But then, whereas tu तद् विपर्ययेण यत् सर्वविकल्पास्पदं सर्वप्रकृतिबीजं सर्वविशेषप्रत्यस्तमितम् अपि अस्ति तत् ब्रह्म इति वेद चेत्. So there is a little clause here, so we have to be careful here. So we can skip, let me open the Bhashya. I'm afraid to open anything because I'm thinking the internet will become unstable and we'll get disconnected. But we'll try. Let us try. So here we are. So far, so good. So, तद्विपर्ययेण यत् सर्वविकल्पास्पदं सर्वप्रवृत्तिबीजं सर्वविशेषप्रत्यस्तमितम् अपि अस्ति तद्ब्रह्म वेद चेत्. See, this is not exactly, I mean, even though there is a Purna Viramah, it is more of a clause. It is this full stop should be read more like a semicolon, because here there is a clause. Kutaf punaha ashanka tannastitve, from there, vyavaharatitatvam brahmanaha iti bruma. व्यवहार विषये ही वाचारंभण मात्रे अस्तित्व भाविता बुद्धिः तद्विपरीते व्यवहारातीते नास्तित्वमपि प्रतिपद्यते यथा घटादि व्यवहार विषयता उत्पन्न सन् तद्विपरीतः असन्नास्ति इति प्रसिद्धम्. So this whole thing is an extra clause here. And then it's almost like there is a parenthesis, this is a parenthetical clause here. Evam tat samanyad iha api syad brahmanah nastitvam prati ashanka. And then, so this is the, and then it gets connected. So this whole thing is a clause here. Number 71 is a nestled clause in this sentence here. And then we go to straight away to tad aha santam vidyamanam brahmaswarupena. This gets connected to that, because then the idea gets picked up here. Okay, so but we should treat it as a clause, but here it's very difficult to treat it as a clause because of many ideas and everything. So we'll just look at it little by little. So tad viparyayena, on the contrary. Contrary to what? The one who says that there is no Brahman. Tad viparyayena Asti Brahma iti Veda Chet. If the one who knows, who says Brahman is there, existent, then what happens? Then whatever happens is here. Santam Vidyamanam Brahma Rupena Paramartha Sadatma Apannam Enam Evam Viduhu Brahma Vidaha. So this is right from there it connects to here. So we'll see that later how it connects. But right now there are three words he uses to describe Brahman, which are very, very interesting. Which is what? Sarva Vikalpa Aspadam, Sarva Pravritti Bijam, and then Sarva Vishesha Pratyastamitam Brahma. So these are the three words he is using, and then it is worth looking at. Very beautiful words to describe Brahman and typical Adi Shankara's language. Very, very nice. So, Sarva Vikalpaspadam. So, Sarva Vikalpaspadam means, Aspada means Adhishthana. Sarvesham Vikalpanam Aspadam Yat. That is what it is. Sarva Vikalpaspadam Tad Brahma. So Sarva Vikalpaspadam means, Vikalpa means duality. And what kinds of dualities are there? OMG. So many dualities, so little time. What is the first duality? Subject-object duality, knower-known duality, knower-known means of knowledge duality. Jnatru jnana jneyam. Jnatru jneya jnanam. So, I am the subject, I know things, this is the object, and then the I, the knower, is connected to the object. Is connected to the object how? Through a means of knowledge. Through a means of knowledge only the person is connected to the object. And so therefore this is exactly what the teaching is all about. So this is the first duality. I know I am the knower, and then I am the knower of such and such, and then in order to know such and such I deploy the X, Y and Z means of knowledge. So this knower known duality, past, present, future, kala vikalpa. The kala somehow is, I don't know why, but is chopped up into 3 periods of time. 3 periods of time it is chopped up. Why not 4? I don't know, but 3. And so those 3 periods of time, that is again duality. How can it be duality? Because it is what? Because it is 3, it is not 2. Duality means more than one, okay? Yeah. So don't become a stickler for this. Duality means anytime you talk about more than one, it's a duality. And so then what else do we have? Then we have asti nasti. Is there, is not there. We are in the middle of this particular vikalpa duality. It is there. Brahman is there. No, 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 no. Brahman is not there. That is itself a vikalpa. And then what other vikalpa do we have? Karaka vikalpa. Vikalpa means bheda, divisions. Karaka, object, subject, instrument. For the sake of this, the reason why the action is being performed, for whose sake. And the ablative case. From where is the action originating? The tree falls from the fruit falls from the tree. So the falling, you catch hold of the verb, and the falling is happening how? From the tree. What is the origin of falling? The tree. From the tree to the ground. So like this, location and possession, all these things are called karaka bhedas. So these are all the kinds of vikalpa. Karaka vikalpa, and then also tenses. This is what we talked about. Kala vikalpa. Lat, lit, lut, lit, all these things, various tenses in Sanskrit, past, present, and we don't just have past, present, and future. We have 3 kinds of future tenses, 2 kinds of past tenses, and if you think of all these things, you become tense. That's why it's called tenses. Okay, because it is intense. It's not tense. It is intense. And so therefore, so that is all vikalpa. In the Vyavahara, full of vikalpas. Full of vikalpas. And then so, but the basic vikalpa is jnatra jnanam gyayam, subject, object, and means of knowledge. So then so this is the duality. And so then the basic duality here, the subject, object, is called vikalpa. And then sarvasya, sarvasya vikalpasya dvaitasya adhishtanam. Aspada means adhisthana. That which is the basis, the truth, that because of which the Dvaita can live. This is what we have to understand. Dvaita exists because of who? Brahman. Because of what? Brahman. Without Brahman, there cannot be any Dvaita. The one who upholds all the Dvaitas without really, without really getting all twisted up. How can you believe there is Dvaita, etc.? Because the Dvaita is Mithya. So upholds the mithya. Or that which upholds the mithya cannot be mithya, it has to be satyam eva. So sarvasya dvaitasya aspadam means adhishthana, the basis, the truth of all the vikalpa, such as knower, known, subject, object, etc., is this alone. And then if we extend the logic, this Jagat along with all the five elements, etc. So this is this has all come from Sat. And then this is exactly it is. So this Jagat under the discussion is in the form of that which is experienced, like as an object. And then by whom is it experienced? By you, the experiencer of everything, including the experience of the Jagat, experiencer of the Jagat. And then so it has this, the observer of the Jagat and the Jagat itself. Both of them have got their adhishthana in the Sadvastu alone. What is the Sadvastu? Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Why? Because the everything here. Why do you say that? Why do you say it is got adhishthana in Brahman alone? Because everything is kalpita, maya, mithya. Mithya kalpitatvat. That which is visible, is anything that is visible, anything that is objectifiable is upheld by the invariable, unchanging, nameless, formless, locationless Brahman. So that is the invariable what? Chaitanya, consciousness. So if we take the Jnata and turn the Jnata upside down and shake the Jnata out, like all the pockets, the loose change and all comes out. But then what comes out? This Chaitanya comes out. Jnata gone, Chaitanya comes out. Then then you squeeze jnanam, and then ghata pata goes, and only consciousness is left behind. And similarly you take the object, and the truth of the object is also what? Chaitanya alone, consciousness alone. It's all consciousness, consciousness, consciousness all the way. Therefore everything has sad adhishthanam, and the knower, known, knowledge, all three of them have their being in Brahman alone. Why? Because the Jagat is a projection. There are no two realities. Like even Ghata and clay, Mrit Ghatadivat, Rajju Sarpavat, either example you can take. Mrit Ghatadivat. And then so this is this is the understanding, very very beautiful. And so therefore what? So therefore we have this whole duality. Is not this we that we have duality is not a problem for us. It is not at all a problem for us, because that which is the duality is understood as what? As a dependent reality. The duality is understood as a dependent reality, and that dependent reality is depending upon what? The adhishthana. What is the adhishthana? Brahman. That is what we say. And so that which transcends these kinds of bhedas, so is called sarva vikalpaspadam. And then another example is given, another word is given for Brahman. And what is that? Sarva pravritti bijam. Bijam, the source. The source of all activity. Pravritti means activity. any kind of pravritti means what is that? Pursuits. That's a better word than activity. Pursuits. All kinds of pursuits are pravritti. So the pursuits are what? So many pursuits. You look at any animal in the wild. It doesn't have a schedule, it doesn't have to go to work, etc. But it is busy doing something or the other. It's busy. It has some place to go. It goes here, goes there, comes, goes, does this, does that, all these things. It's very, very busy. And then you go and you see you go to some big place like a train station, airport, etc. And what are they all doing? Somebody is climbing down from the train, somebody is getting into the train, somebody is capitalizing by hawking some samosas on the train. Please buy, please buy, please buy, come on, come on, come on. And just to shut the fellow up, you buy some things. And then not that he still has to sell to the other people. And so like this there is all kinds of people, and all these activities originate from where? What is the answer to that? Again the same answer: Brahman alone. The origin happens from where? from the from Brahman alone. So that which is free of name and form and activity, true. But then all activities, it upholds all activities. Without it, no action is possible. No action is possible. That consciousness, that awareness, this alone we have to see as Brahman. And so Sarva, what was that? Sarva Pravritti Bijam. Lost the uh, thing, yeah, here. So sarva pravritti bijam. Sarva pravritti bijam. And that is what it is. So then, this is the, so therefore what? The whole, every object, every activity, everything is just a projection. Like it's non-separate from the cause. Everything is karya jatam. It is just a group of karya. Like even from the mrit, from the clay, the pot was born, the whole earthenware world was born, and similarly from Sat, everything was born. This is what it is. And he's going to say, Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam. He's going to say that he's going to borrow his words from the Chandogya Upanishad. He's going to borrow the words from there, and he's going to talk about that in that in that clause. So now this duality has its being in one vastu alone, that is free of all vikalpa. That means what? It is nirvikalpa. Free of all vikalpas, free of all duality. It is nirvikalpa. It is nirvikalpa, and then it doesn't have it doesn't have any activity, yet it becomes sarva pravritti bijam. And being nirvikalpa, it is sarva vishesha pratyastamitam. Prati astam means from which sarva sarve visheshaha, yasmat, from which pratyastamitaha. सर्वे विशेषाः प्रत्यस्तमिताः यस्मात् तत् ब्रह्म. So sarve vikalpaha, all the duality and all the visheshas. All the vishesha means nama rupa, all the names, forms, and anything specific to this object, all of them pratyastamitam, have departed, have set, just like the sun has set. So all the duality has set, from which Chaitanya, that alone is Brahman. And this is how Bhashyakara helps us to understand how to know Brahman. How to know Brahman? In this manner alone, it has to be known. In this manner alone, it has to be known. No other way it has to be known. And so, this is the sarva. This is how it has to know to be known. And when the person says this kind of a Brahman asti, means what? They are a jnani. These people who say, who understand Brahman in this manner, as unfolded by Bhashyakara, that means what? They are jnanis. And so, asti brahma ched iti veda. Then we'll skip this clause and go to the last, go to the here, the santam. So we'll skip this clause and then go to the second sentence in 72. We'll come back to the clause after the understanding this, otherwise it will be confusing. Santam vidyamanam. So, what do you say to such a person who says, I know Brahman and I know Brahman as free of all vikalpas, as the truth of all as that consciousness which is free of all duality, which is the truth of all activities and pursuits, and from which all namas and rupas have been washed off. I know Brahman in this manner, meaning I know it as myself. The cognizer is the cognized. Then what? The Brahmavidaha. Then other Brahmavits. What do they say? Santam. Such a person is existent. Vidyamanam. How? How are they existent? As a body mind complex? No. Brahmaswarupena Vidyamanam. They are existent in the form of Brahman alone. They are existent Brahmaswarupena Vidyamanam. Paramartha Sadatma Apannam. The ones who have gained Ishvara as their own Atma. Sad Atma as the existent Ishvara is their own Atma. They have understood that. Enam evam viduhu brahmavidah. So the brahmavids know them in this manner. So this is what other brahmavids say. Tatah tasmad astitva vedanat sah anyesham brahmavijneyah bhavati ityarthah. So we'll see that later. Now let's come back to this clause. It's almost like as Bhashyakara was writing, he had a question himself. He was like, how can anybody say there is no Brahman? He doesn't understand how is that possible. So he asks a question and answers it. Let's look at that. So let me share the Bhashya. Having been not disconnected last time, I'm a little more hopeful. Okay. Kutaf punaha
पुनः
कुतः पुनः
आशंका
आशंका
तन्नास्तित्वे
अन्नास्तित्वे
व्यवहारातीतं ब्रह्मणः
व्यवहारातीतं ब्रह्मणः
इति ब्रूमः.
इति ब्रूमः.
व्यवहारविषये हि
व्यवहारविषयैः
वाचारम्भणमात्रे
वाचारम्भनमात्रे
अस्तित्वभाविता
अस्तित्वभाविता
धिः
धिः
तद्विपरीते
तद्विपरीते
व्यवहारातीते
व्यवहारातीते
नास्तित्वमपि
नास्तित्वमपि
प्रतिपद्यते.
प्रतिपद्यते.
यथा
यथा
घटादिः
घटादिः
व्यवहारविषयतया
व्यवहारविषयतः व्यवहारविषयतया
उत्पन्नः सन्
उत्पन्नः सन्
तद्विपरीतः
तद्विपरीतः
असन्निति प्रसिद्धम्.
असन्निति प्रसिद्धम्
एवं
केवं
तत्
तत्
सामान्यात्
सामान्यात्
इह अपि स्यात्
इह अपि स्यात्
ब्रह्मणः नास्तित्वं प्रति
ब्रह्मणनास्तित्वं प्रति
आशङ्का
आशङ्का
तस्मादुच्यते
तस्मादुच्यते
अस्ति ब्रह्म इति
अस्ति ब्रह्म इति
चेद्वेद इति।
चेद्वेद इति
कुतः पुनः आशंका? Very interesting question. So the question is this: how can you have a doubt? How can anyone have a doubt? Kutaf punah ashanka. Where is this doubt? Where is this doubt? How did this doubt come from? How did this doubt come from? And where is this doubt residing? How can anybody have this doubt? And so this is the doubt, and the doubt is involving what is the doubt involving? Brahman. What kind of Brahman? From which all visheshas have departed, and that which is the source of all activity. And then what was the first one? That which is the sarva sarva vikalpaspadam, that which is the basis of all ashankas and duality. That is the Brahman. And one more thing, like when we talk about that from which everything has departed, all the visheshas, means the differences are resolved. If the differences are resolved, what is left? This is Brahman alone is left, because all the laya, the whole jagat, liyate yasmin, all the nama rupas, everything go into which naturally that is the adhishthanam. And so then this is the assimilation. The Shastra tells Brahma asti, and this Brahma is Atma. This is what we have to assimilate. So ka punah ashanka tan nastitve. So the Shastra tells there is Brahman, and that it is Sarva Vikalpa Rahitam. I have to simply take it. Why should I doubt it? The fellow who doubts this has no problem in accepting a heaven, that there is Swarga, that I want to go there, that I will like it, and then being there, Punya Papa is there, so I need more Punya to outnumber the Papa, and therefore I want to go to heaven, etc. The person has no problem. But when you talk about Brahman, then what is the problem here? I don't understand. But then this is what it is. Generally, the people who have Shraddha for a partial Shastra. A part of the Shastra they have Shraddha, the rest of the Shastra there is no Shraddha. So, but here the basis of doubt is there. Adi Shankara says, why? Because if supposing Anandamaya or Pranamaya or Manomaya, any of them were Brahman, then it would not be a problem at all. No problem. Why? Because this is what it is, and it is palpable, it is graspable, it is objectifiable. Here there is no Vyavahara. We are not talking of Anandamaya, we are not talking of Manomaya, we are not talking of anything. What are we talking about? Sarvasya Adhara, that which is that which is the Adhara of everything. And then, so then, what is the nature of the Atma? No Vyavahara. So it is the Adhara of all Vyavahara without itself being any Vyavahara. This is what we are seeing. And so, therefore, this Brahman is not understood, because we only see something that is available for Vyavahara. In other words, we see Vyavahara Yogya. That which is available for Vyavahara, we see. That which is not available for transaction is not understood, is not validated even. You know, like even Brahman. You try telling, your family. What will you tell your family? I'm going to study for 3 years. Studying, I'm doing a 3-year course. In what? In Brahman. So, a prospective brahmachari tells the family, I'm doing a 3-year course. And the mother looks at the father, and that is the look. It's all your fault. And the father says, what do you mean it's my fault? You indulged her, you indulged him, and now they are in search of a non existent Shastra. This is what it is. See, if you tell the parents, I'm pursuing a degree in biology. Yes, yes, shabash, beta, wonderful, great. And I'm studying music. Oh, wonderful. Not our first choice, but still great, wonderful. And then I'm studying something or the other. I'm studying how to make something. Okay, wonderful. They understand. I'm studying about Brahman. Where is it? What is it? No, it is the truth of everything. How do you know it's the truth of everything? The Shastra says. The same Shastra that talks about Papa, Punya, everything, also talks about Brahman, and says this very thing. So there is a partisan understanding of the Shastra, so you don't mind believing in heaven and believing in Papa Punya, in karma and karma phala, etc. You have no problem. But as soon as it comes to Brahman, there is some kind of a disconnect, and therefore all the people are just waiting for that special magical experience called Brahman. And I want a special experience, then only I know Brahman. But this is not how Brahman operates. And therefore we can therefore easily people can dismiss Brahman and then do what? And then say that the Brahman becomes as good as one more experience. And this is not, this is the mistake people make. I have ice cream experience, I have money experience, I have trekking experience, I have going abroad experience, I have restaurant experience, I have friendship experience, relationship experience, and then now I'm waiting for Brahman experience. Does not work that way at all. And so, because it is purely a cognitive thing, and that's why there is a problem for a lot of people who are waiting for the Brahman experience to come and they take it very seriously. They say, look between the eyebrows and look at the tip of the nose or at the tip of the toes, and then catch the nose, catch the toes, breathe this way, and then, oh, I saw some light. Somebody, I was at a world conference, and there some people were meditating and they were told to shut their eyes, and then they were told to shut their eyes really tightly, pressing the eyelids. And then the meditation instructor said, if you really have a pure heart, and if you do this, you should see some lights. And naturally, you try pressing the eyes really hard, you will see lights. It's a medical phenomenon. It's not some kind of Brahman showing itself up to you. You will see some lights. And so this is the light. If that light is Brahman, then some other light is not Brahman. The light in your house that you switch off in a mundane way, that is very unmagical. That is not Brahman. And so this is the uh, this is the problem with that. Yes, it looked like I disappeared, but the Now, no more talk about Anupalabdhi ever. This is what we have to not do, okay? And that is because the light went off here. So I talk about the light went off. I said switch off the light, and the light really went off. And so when you switch off the light and switch on the light, here I go again inviting trouble. And so when I switch off the light, then what happens is that there is there is no magic. This is an everyday mundane reality. I switch off the light, I switch on the light, nothing big. But then, oh, I press the eyelids, and then something wonderful happened. This meditation teacher must be raking in the money, telling everybody this. Press your eyes, see the light, and then that is God, that is Brahman. And so, therefore, there are many organizations based on this meditation, and many people who are committed to that, not hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. So that is why ashanka. Ka punaha ashanka. Brahmatannastitve. In the non-existence of Brahman, what is the doubt? What is this doubt? What is the basis for this doubt? Brumaha. We say what? Vyavaharatitatvam brahmanah eva is the karana for this shanka. Shankayaha hetuhu. Vyavaharatitatvam brahmanah. So the Brahman has got the property. We can't say property, we can't say quality. Brahman has got this particular thing about it. What is that? It is not available for vyavahara. Vyavaharatitam. Vyavaharatitatvam brahmanah. So this Brahman has got the ability to not become available for vyavahara. And then ayogyatvam vyavahara ayogyatvam asti brahmanah. It is beyond vyavahara. It is not fit for objectification, and you can't catch it, you can't catch it with any means of knowledge. And then, so therefore, it is not available for transaction. But then, as Bhashyakara points out, that is not how the person's orientation is. For the person, for any person, if it does not smell, if it is not available for smell or touch or sight or anumana or inference, etc., or even the anupalabdhi, non-existence, etc., then that means it does not exist. So therefore, if you say ashabdam doesn't make a sound, is not available to the ears, asparsham not available for touch, arupam has no form, not available for the eyes, arasam not available for the sense of taste, agandham not available for the olfactory nerves. That means what? Nasti brahma. Why? It is vyavahara atitam brahma. And he explains further. Vyavahara vishayehi vacharambhana matre astitva bhavita buddhihi. Yam buddhihi. Whose buddhi? Manushyasya buddhi. This buddhi of the human being, who is the one who that creates doubt, is not ready to understand. Because why? Sometimes it misunderstands. That's why. And what does it what does it misunderstand? It misunderstands that which it cannot objectify. That's why it is very complex. So vyavahara vishaye hi astitva bhavita buddhihi. In vyavahara vishaya, in anything that exists, then what? Then this is the in anything that exists, that astitva bhavita buddhihi, that existence buddhi is confined to that which is subject to vyavahara. subject to vyavahara. It should be very clear. Like my hand. Is my hand there or not? Yes, my hand is there. What is my hand holding? And nothing. So we can say that. So this is all clear. So the buddhi is committed to astitvam and nastitvam only for vyavahara vishaya. Only for things that are vyavahara yogya. Things that are available for objectification in one way or the other. It should be handled, it should be cognized through the jnanendriyas, it should be apprehended. Then we can say it is or it is not. That particular thing is or that particular thing is not. So, vyavahara vishaye hi astitva bhavita buddhi. And then what does he say? Vacharambhana matre. Vacharambhana matre vyavahara vishaye means it has anything that has got a name, nama, and that alone exists. So vachaha eva, so the vak eva. So then this vacharambhanam vak is the place where everything begins. Vacharambhanam. And then it is, that means what? It is just a nama, it is just a name. When you analyze pot, we have seen this all in detail when we studied the Chandogya Upanishad. When you analyze the pot, it just becomes a name. Pot has no weight, no color, it is not a substance, and it has no being other than clay. It draws its being from clay. It is sustained by clay. It goes back to clay. And so therefore it is at the same time vyavahara yogya. So we catch hold of that vyavahara yogya and then somehow connect it to existence. That is what it is. Tad viparite, if supposing it is not there, nastitvam api pratipadyeta. So this vyavahara vishaye buddhi which is there, that buddhi which is beyond that buddhi which says anything that is beyond vyavahara does not exist. That it cognizes that, and that is why there is ashanka. What is the ashanka? Ashanka means doubt that this Brahman must not be there. All right, more we'll see next week. Then this week, what other classes are there? We have Gita Bhashya, and then what else? Aparokshanubhuti. Om Purnamadav.
Purnamadah
There
Purnamidam.
is one more talk on something or the other. What is that? Freedom from stress. In about 15 minutes, you are welcome to join, but it's at a different Zoom location. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Thank you.